Okay, so we're comparing our linear, our exponential, and our quadratic. These are the graphs of the each types of equations you guys have seen before. A linear is a straight line. The exponential has that curve with an asymptote, okay, where it gets really close to a number but never touches it. You talked about these last year in Math 1. This year we gave you quadratics, which is that U shape. Okay. So in your homework, you're going to be asked, given a graph, you're going to ask to identify it as a linear or an exponential or a quadratic function. Okay, can you identify those? Pretty easy, right? Okay, the equation, very similar. Equations, a linear equation has just an x. No variable, no exponents, just the x. Okay, so that's really one way to identify it. No exponents. Okay, an exponential has the variable in the exponent. Okay, the variable is part of the exponent. Okay, and quadratic have that squared. Squared variable, it is a degree of 2. Okay, so you're going to look at the equation and determine if it's linear, exponential, or quadratic. Again, pretty easy to identify based on those characteristics. Okay, now the table. Okay, the table is going to be a little more complicated because you need to find that first difference. So we're going to do that. Between here and here, you're going to take -1 and subtract -4, which gives me a +3. So to get from -4 to -1, I had to add 3. You can do the same thing here. So 2 minus a -1 is I have to add 3. Between 2 and 5, I had to add 3. And between 8 and 5, I also had to add 3. Since these are all the same, that is a linear function. Okay, that's the key. The first difference is the same, is constant. Okay, that's your rate of change or your slope. So this linear function has a slope or a rate of change of 3, +3. Any questions over that? We're good? Okay, the next one. Before I start, I had a typo. Yours says 79, I believe. Please change this one to 77. Okay, this is an exponential function. If you look at the numbers, you can see that they grow very quickly, right? Between -1 and 5, 5 goes to 23, and then 23 goes to 77, and then now we're up to 39. Okay, that's a large gap between it. So that is one way just looking at it. You can find the first difference as well. Okay, so from 5 minus a -1. That gives me a +6. From 23 minus 5, that is +18. Between 77 and 23, that is 54. And between 239, 77 is 162. Is that right? 162. Okay. Is that first difference all the same? No. Okay. The second difference won't be the same either. But you can notice that it, again, is increasing very quickly. Okay. Increasing very quickly. Tells me that this is going to be exponential, and you need to find what number you're multiplying by over and over again. Okay, which is called the common ratio. The common ratio okay, what number are you multiplying over and over again? You just divide these two. Is the 18 divided by the 6 is 3. If you did the same thing, 54 divided by 18 would also be 3. 162 divided by 54 would also be 3. Okay. So your common ratio is 3. You're multiplying by 3 over and over again. Any questions over that? Okay. Your next one. Okay, so we're going to subtract again. So -3 minus 0 is -3. -4 minus -3 is -1. Then -3 minus -4. Oh yeah, sorry, change your -3s, I forgot. Again, more typos. Change your -1s, yours says -1, change them to -3s. Or else that wouldn't be quadratic. So that gives me +1. And then 0 minus a -3 is 3. Okay. You can kind of see that my numbers repeat with negatives and positives. That is something that can help you identify that this is going to be quadratic. And then finally, our second difference. You do the same thing. What I do to the -3 to get to -1, I'm going to have to add 2. What do I do to the -1 to get to +1? I add 2. What do I do to get from 1 to 3? I add 2. The second difference is all the same, just like in the video. Okay, so this means it's quadratic. Okay, second difference is constant, or the same. That means it's quadratic. Any questions over this? Okay, we're gonna practice on the back. Numbers 1 through 4. Okay, class, is 1 linear, quadratic, or exponential? Linear. Okay, we'll skip 2 for now. Number 3, linear, quadratic, or exponential? Number 3, look at number 3. Is the x the exponent? Yeah. For an exponential function, your x, the variable is part of the exponent. In this one, I don't have an exponent at all, so this is linear. Okay, number 4, linear, exponential, or quadratic? Quadratic. Okay, let's look at this ordered pair. In order to determine this is linear, quadratic, or exponential, we need that first difference. So from 11 to 5, I subtracted 6. From 5 to 3, I subtracted 2. From 3 to 5, I added 2. From 5 to 11, I added 6. Okay, our second difference then, from -6 to -2 means I added 4. From -2 to +2, I added 4 again. From 2 to 4, I added 4. The second difference is all the same, so this is a quadratic. Any questions over that? Okay, you guys do the next 4. Okay, we're back up here. Evan, what'd you get for number 5? Very good. Jazz, what'd you get for number 6? Zane, what'd you get for number 7? Okay, that first difference was +3. You're adding 3 each time. Rylan, what'd you get for number 8? Very good, exponential. Okay, do we understand this? Okay, keep going with the rest.